Dear friends, welcome to the podcast, Jesus at Home, by Spiritist Society Renewal. In today's episode, we'll be reading chapter 79 of the book, The Way, the Truth, and the Life, by the Spirit Emmanuel, as psychographed by the medium Francisco Candido Xavier. After reading, we'll give you a short commentary, and then we'll finish the episode with a prayer. Chapter 79. To each one. Stand up on your feet. Paul. Acts chapter 14, verse 10. In general, when we are incarnate in the physical world, we see only those who are disabled in body, those who have lost their corporeal balance, or those who trudge painfully along bearing heart-rending deformities. Our sight is not good enough to identify the ill in spirit, the lame in mind, or the vanquished in heart. If there were a place inhabited solely by the blind, people would end up losing interest in their eyes and would forget about them. Likewise, on the earth, where the vast majority of people are actually paralytic souls as far as virtue is concerned, there are few who can grasp the disharmony of their spiritual health or who are aware of their undisputed needs. Thus, we can see that the mission of the gospel is much more beautiful and extensive than we could ever imagine. Jesus continues to pour out his blessings every day. And the secret wonders performed in the silence of his infinite love are much greater than those that happened in Jerusalem and Galilee, because, according to the apostolic narratives, the blind and the lepers whom Jesus healed became ill again and died. The healing of our infirm, paralytic minds is far more important because it occurs with an eye on eternity. We must not lose ourselves in illusory conclusions. Let us sharpen our hearing and remember the word of the Apostle to the Gentiles. It is vital that each one of us stand up on his or her own feet because there are many people who are hoping for angel wings that do not belong to them. To interpret the message, we will read an excerpt from item 8 of chapter 17 of The Gospel According to Spiritism, Virtue. Virtue, at its highest level, is a combination of all those essential qualities which constitute a goodly person, namely to be good, charitable, hard-working, sober and modest. Unfortunately, these virtues are almost always accompanied by slight moral failures which tarnish and weaken them. The person who calls attention to their virtues is not virtuous, because they lack the principal quality which is modesty, but they possess the vice in greatest opposition to modesty, which is pride. Virtue that is really deserving of this name does not like to exhibit itself. We must pay attention in order to be aware of its presence. It hides itself in the shadows and runs away from public admiration. Saint Vincent Delaware Paul was virtuous. The dignified curate of Ars was virtuous, as are a great many others who are little known in this world, but are known to God. All of these good people were ignorant of the fact that they were virtuous. They allowed themselves to be carried along by their saintly inspirations, practicing good with absolute disinterestedness and complete forgetfulness of self. Now I invite you to join me in thought in a prayer. Friend and Master Jesus, I am grateful for one more gospel at home. I am grateful for the opportunity to learn a little more of your teachings and examples of love and wisdom. I am grateful for the light of your assistance and inspiration. Friend, support the efforts I am making to overcome my evil inclinations. Help me to improve my thoughts, words, and actions. Jesus, I pray for all humanity, for peace in the world, and the moral transformation of all. So be it. Thank you for listening, and until the next podcast, Jesus at Home.